We're at a dangerous point in our country. Democratic government is breaking down. We're at a very serious crisis, at a crossroads. CNN spent an entire week in February 2010 on a series called Broken Government, where basically the idea was that government is broken. Most Americans, when they're asked in whatever poll to look at Congress, the one word that comes up repeatedly when they look at how Congress works in the United States is dysfunctional. Coupled with this is a rising anti-government sentiment by more and more Americans. In fact, the great majority of Americans believe the country's in decline, that it can't be trusted, and the majority of Americans, when polled by CNN, believe that the government today is an immediate threat to their rights. The Southern Poverty Law Center, if you check their website, has done an exhaustive study on the rise of anti-government groups in this country. They're growing at a phenomenal rate. And the thing about the anti-government groups and a lot of anti-government people today, they're armed to the teeth, and some have become so disfranchised and so alienated that they're striking out in anger. Remember in early February, and Joe Stack flew his airplane into the Austin IRS building while citing the Communist Manifesto, saying that he had it, he couldn't take it. Total anti-government rant on a manifesto that he wrote. Soon thereafter, people were posting on Facebook and Twitter, making this guy a hero. Violent imagery, violent words are repeatedly showing up in the words and images of our politicians. Michelle Bachmann out of Texas announced that she wanted people, and this is a quote from Michelle Bachmann, she wanted people in Minnesota armed and dangerous to oppose the Obama administration climate change policies. And now anger is being aimed at the president and Congress over the passage of the new health reform bill. As one Iowan, a fellow named Randy Milan, has been quoted as saying, "The president just about declared war against the American people last weekend. I'm not ready for outright violence yet. We have to be civil as long as we can." Civility went quickly by the wayside, however. People started placing coffins at Congressman's door. The brother of Tom Perriello, Virginia congressman, his gas line was cut. New York Representative Louise Slaughter actually got voicemail messages saying that snipers were going to be set up around the country to shoot the children of the congressman that actually voted for the health reform bill. What can be done to slow the violence? Something's going to have to be done, or we're reaching a very serious point in American history. First, I think Peggy Noonan's right. As she writes for the Wall Street Journal, she says, it's time for our government leaders to stop poking the stick. People are angry, obviously, and they have a reason to be angry. The economic situation, all the problems that are plaguing this country. But I think people are most angry because the government simply is not listening to them. As Peggy Noonan writes in her Wall Street Journal article, she's looked at the President of the United States, a very bright fellow, has a very bright administration, but she says the more I study President Obama and his administration, they're not getting the point. They're not seeing what's making people so angry, and they don't understand it, and they're not acting on it. What we need now is for the President of the United States and Congress to join together and bind us together. This is the most splintered country I've ever seen in my lifetime. And by all means, and I think Peggy Noonan's right in her Wall Street Journal article, she says we've got to start lowering the temperature. How can we do that? Before President Obama passes any more legislation or focuses on any more projects, I think he has to do what Robert Reich, who worked on the Clinton administration, has said. President Obama, and he's admonished the president, he's a Democrat, you have to focus on getting people back to work. And by all means, don't get involved in any kind of projects or legislation which is going to anger the violent part of the population. Second, as Martin Luther King so eloquently said many times, violence begets violence. Violence solves nothing. Violence makes things worse. And to quote Martin Luther King again, to retaliate with hate and bitterness would do nothing but intensify the hate in the world. Along the way of life, someone must have sense enough and morality enough to cut off the chain of hate. This can be done only by projecting the ethics of love to the center of our lives. Yes, the chain of hate must be cut off. So my advice to the President of the United States is, hope and change must become more than campaign slogans. We really need hope now. And Martin Luther King is right. And I think the President has to do this. You have to focus on centering love in our society and bringing us together as a people. We cannot take any more splintering or division.